And we're good.
Okay, so this is Duck's Roadmap to Success, and I just want to go over some of the things we talked about today in terms of what you want to do with Duck's training. So the first biggest thing is that we want to put in new rules for Duck, because that's going to help her gain self-control and learn how to regulate her emotions. So right now, currently, what she's been kind of doing through life is not knowing exactly what's expected. She had a couple rules in place, which was awesome. But she kind of ran around and was like, okay, I want to go out the door, so I'm going to jump up at the door, and I'm going to run here and run there. And so what we're going to do is help calm her down and look to her owners or guardians for leadership and direction. And remember, that's really more like taking on a parent role, where you're now looking to give her rules and setting her up to be successful, and then being really positive and giving her a lot of affirmation when she's doing the right thing. So we're trying to give her a lot of attention for being good, and then trying to do more of ignoring behavior when she's not being good. So she learns that good behavior, good calm behavior equals lots of love and attention, where when she gets hyper and she starts getting out of control, you guys will leave the room or ignore her. Remember, ignoring means also no eye contact. So if she is jumping up at you, remember that you can walk out of the room. So if that means walking out onto the deck, if that's the closest door, or into a bathroom or anything else, close the door, stay behind it until she's calm. If she's kind of whining on the other side of the door, or jumping up at it and trying to demand your attention to come out, then you have to stay in that room until she's calm, because otherwise she learns that jumping at the door, whining, is what's bringing you out. Okay, so that's the most effective way to get her to not be jumping on you, biting at your arms, nipping, playing, that type of stuff. In that way, you're teaching her to be nice and calm, and that equals you guys leaving. The rules that we want to discuss is, one, refer to the video above this one on how we're doing the kennel behavior. We want her to be kind of sitting in the kennel, laying down if you need to, standing up but staying calm, waiting to get the door all the way open, and then say break, which is your release word, then bring her over to the next door, same exact thing, have her sit, say break, and then she can go outside. That's just helping her look to you for direction. So if she wants to be out of the kennel, she can't just be standing there digging up the kennel or bursting out of it. She needs to look to you to get direction, like, okay, she said release, I get to go. And that just changes the dynamic of the relationship, and it changes her attitude to look at you guys to have help. But we're not taking away things that she wants. That's one of the key things, is we're going to give her things that she wants, but you want to be in control of when that happens and how that occurs. Other things, as having her sit to get attention, is another good one. So if she's sitting by your feet, reach over and pet her. If she doesn't want to be petted for long, that's okay. She doesn't have to always want to be petted for a long period of time, but reaching over and just patting her back quick and saying good girl is a great way to reinforce that nice calm behavior. And it's part of our petting with a purpose philosophy of petting her when she's being good to help reward that behavior. Other things that we discussed was her resource guarding. And remember, what we want to do is stack the odds in her favor that she'll get the thing that she's guarding back. So in the beginning, take some treats, toss them to her on the ground, and don't even try to reach for the bone yet, especially if it's something she's really guarding and valuing. And you could do this for days. Have the bone, she toss treats, start walking by her, toss treats. She's learning, oh wow, I'm chewing on a bone, and when they come near me with their hand, all they do is give me more food. This is great. And then slowly, as she gets more and more comfortable, toss a treat, she drops the bone, say drop it. Give her, do it again and again, until you can eventually get her to the point where she doesn't care about the bone. You pick it up, give her a treat, give her the bone back. It's really important that she learns that if you pick up the bone, you give it back to her most of the time. The times that you wouldn't is when, because she's a puppy, is if she's getting into something that you know you don't want her to have. Like if she grabs socks or any other item that she shouldn't have. If you've been practicing with a bone, so most times she gets that item back, she'll happily give up the thing that she shouldn't have, but still use treats to help reinforce her for that good behavior. When you're playing with her, make sure you're having her sit before you throw the toy or play ball in the backyard. That's again building up that self-control and looking to you for direction. It also, if you think about it, we don't have any games in the world that don't have rules, so same thing for her. There's rules to the game now. Now, to get you to kick the ball or throw the ball, she has to sit. That's another thing that we're changing to her routine. She already gets a walk every day at lunchtime, so we're going to start having the evening time, instead of doing another walk. She's a big girl and she's young. she needs to run more. So we're gonna get her outside playing ball, whether it's soccer or using a chuck-it to throw the ball. Whatever you can do to get her to be running more, but also having her stop in between every single time and sit so she gains that self-control. She'll get just as much exercise, but we don't want her to get wound up where she loses control over herself. And then lastly, we're changing her feeding routine, feeding her twice a day, giving her a maximum of 5 minutes to eat. If there's food left in her bowl, put it back in the bag and put the empty bowl back on the ground. And then feed her again at the next opportunity. All right, and then the last thing I want to mention is that everything you do trains your dog, only sometimes you mean it.